Anna, Ms. Captor of Ohio, Mr. Calvert of California, Mr. Spratt of South Carolina, Mr. Moran. For what purpose does the gentleman from California rise? Without objection.
Mr. Speaker, thank you. And I rise, Mr. Speaker, to talk about duty, honor, and country. And many times members of this great body rise to talk about those who wear the uniform of the United States who have fallen in the Iraq or the Afghanistan theater, and to recount their actions and to recount their mission and to praise their motive and their patriotism and their love of this great country. I rise tonight, Mr. Speaker, to talk about an American who was killed on the 24th of this month, not wearing the uniform of the United States in a military service, even though he had served in the military for some 31 years, but who was killed in a very deadly area in Iraq as an American contractor, an American who had worked as a contractor for the Department of Defense and then the Department of State, Stephen Farley. You know, Stephen Farley represented the very best of this country, and I have a picture here, Mr. Speaker, that I'd like to show the members. This is him in his Navy uniform before he donned this Navy uniform and finished a career of 31 years in the U.S. military. He served in the U.S. Army in Vietnam. He was a man of service. And when he left his wonderful wife Donna and his family to go to Iraq, he told them that he understood that this was a difficult and dangerous mission. He worked on a provincial reconstruction team, and I think he represented a forgotten segment of this great effort, this effort to bring the sunlight of freedom to Iraq. He represented those people that don't wear the uniform in this operation, but who wear contractor uniforms, who go out into very dangerous places in Iraq. And in this case, Stephen Farley was with 3 colleagues working the provincial reconstruction teams in Iraq. He was in Sadr City, that adjunct to Baghdad that is over 1 million people, an area of great fighting, great turmoil, and great danger. And yet when he came home to see his loved ones, he told them he knew that he was in danger. He knew that it might at some point cost him his life, but he told them that he thought that the cause was a worthwhile cause. And you know, his service to America represented all those wonderful aspects of duty and honor and country and patriotism, even though he wasn't wearing the uniform of the Army or the Marine Corps or the Air Force or the Navy, because he was serving that same goal, that same ideal, that same flag in all of us. And Mr. Speaker, he came home a few weeks before, bringing some of the members of the City Council of Sadr City to the United States to let them see what freedom was like, what this great experiment in freedom called the United States of America was like, to inspire them, to give them a model they could go back and use in this fledgling representative government that is now taking place in Iraq. He wanted to show them the American example. And Mr. Speaker, his example, and the example of his family, and the example of this great community, a guy from Guthrie, Oklahoma, was the finest example that anybody can watch if they indeed want to model their country, their community, their town after a winning democracy, the United States of America. So here was a gentleman who served in a very, very crucial area for the United States. And you know, most of the work that we do here, we're in the House of Representatives. Most of our work is air-conditioned. We do have members who, in fact, I'm so proud of the members of the Armed Services Committee, most of whom have taken multiple trips to see the troops and the operations in Iraq and Afghanistan. And we now and again go out and put our boots on the ground in some tough places. but most of the time we're in Washington, D.C., or with our constituencies and our wonderful communities. These Americans like Stephen Farley, are out there for years on end in very difficult conditions carrying the American flag. And so, Mr. Speaker, a number of us on the Armed Services Committee are going to be visiting Iraq and Afghanistan in the coming months, especially the summer months when we take the district work period break. I'll tell you one thing I'm going to do. When I go to Baghdad this time, I'm going to spend more time with those contractors, people who haven't necessarily been given all of the credit that they should be given by this body, by the House of Representatives. People talk about the contractors as if they were somehow mercenaries. Well, Stephen Farley represented the very best of this very wonderful force of Americans who helped to establish freedom around the world. May he rest in peace. God bless his family. And thank you, Stephen Farley, for your service to the United States.
The gentleman's time has expired. For what purpose does the gentleman from Georgia rise? Without objection.